excited to show you this one. A little bit from me, I've been speaking to Laura for quite some time now, and I think, you know, given what I do with a lot of you, I see a lot of familiar names, which is great. I speak to lawyers daily, and I think contracts is like one of the most common use cases for AI. So these are kind of, you know, all of our sessions are great, but I think this is one that a lot of you are probably dealing with right now. A lot of you are probably either looking at stuff or trying to figure it out. So I am confident this is going to be a great one, and we now have a good number of you on. So I'm going to hand it over to Stefon and Laura.
Thanks, Sophie, and welcome everyone. I'm Stefon, and I'm joined by my colleague Laura. We're both from Wordsmith. And for those of you not familiar with who Wordsmith are, we are essentially an AI-powered legal assistant for in-house teams. So if you think of all the tasks that a junior lawyer can do: review, draft, create playbooks, summarize. If they're bilingual, they can translate. Wordsmith can do a number of those tasks at a fraction of the time. So today's session will be on cut the red lines, but not the corners, on how you can use AI in contract work. So yeah, it's essentially about how you can use AI to streamline and improve your contract work without compromising quality. Next slide, please. Gosh, when we think of AI in legal work, it can be quite overwhelming. There's so many different ways in which AI can be used in legal work. It can be a little bit worrying as well. I know some lawyers are worried about losing their jobs, and it can also be quite exciting because there's many opportunities to improve the way we work. It'll be interesting in the chat as well, guys. If you could just share some ways in which you're using AI in your legal work, it'd be nice to canvas some ideas. Next slide, please. And one of the reasons why it can be so confusing and overwhelming is because there are just so many tools on the market. So if you take contracting, for example, there's between 60 and 70 different AI tools, not just tools, specifically AI tools. And I'm sure if you spoke to the vendors of all of these tools, they would tell you their tool is very different from all of the others. So it can get quite difficult just comparing all of the different tools and working out the capabilities and limitations. So good news, guys, AI won't replace lawyers, but it will change the way legal work is done. And it's quite noticeable in some universities now in the UK, for example, within law degrees, they're doing modules and sessions on using legal tech, using AI. So yeah, I don't think the future holds lawyers losing their jobs, but it will change the way lawyers work and essentially giving lawyers more capacity to do some of that deeper, strategic, higher value work. So the objectives for this session will be to clarify what contract AI really means, see how AI fits into contracting workflows, and to learn how to choose and use AI tools effectively in a very saturated market. In terms of goodies, what we'll give you a copy of this slide deck. We'll give you an amazing online prompting guide, which is brilliant and a game changer for using AI for legal work. We'll give you access to the Wordsmith Academy, where you'll get exclusive content and get to join a community of others who are very interested in using AI in legal work. And you'll get an opportunity to book a demo and see Wordsmith AI live in action. So it's really important you know your AI tools and you understand their capabilities and you understand their limitations. This will help a lot in terms of navigating the noise in the market and distinguishing the differences between products and similarities as well, and knowing what is right for your workflow and your team. So this is a good table kind of illustrating the difference between just your general purpose AI and AI designed for specific legal tasks. So if you look in the top left corner, you've got native AI tools that are broad purpose. So in this bucket, you've got your LLMs, your foundational models, your ChatGPTs, your Copilots, your Geminis, which I'm sure many of you are maybe using in your legal work or in your personal capacity. And then on the right, you've got native AI tools for specific legal tasks. So these are products designed for legal workflows with AI at the heart of the product. So quite often these products will be built on top of the models you see in the top left corner. In the bottom left, you've got your traditional legal tech tools where AI was added on after. So think of Microsoft Word. That's been around probably before I was born. Now it's been advanced because it has Copilot in it as well. And you think of DocuSign, now it has AI involved in it, and iManage as well. And then in the bottom right, you've got legal tech tools such as CLMs, which now have an AI add-on. So this is just a good way of understanding where tools fit and in what bucket. So is it a native AI tool, broad purpose? Is it a native AI tool specifically for legal tasks? Or is it a legal tech tool like Word that you use for drafting that has an AI add-on? Or is it a legal tech tool like a CLM that has an AI add-on? So in terms of the broad purpose AI, you've got ChatGPT, Claude, Copilot, and Gemini. Then on the right, you've got legal specific tools like Wordsmith. So what we're going to do is help you understand the difference between the two. So this is your broad purpose architecture. So think of this as ChatGPT. And at the top, you've got your web app, and you've got your box, and it asks you, well, it doesn't ask you, but it invites you to ask it to do something. And then when you make a request in that model, it goes to the foundational model and it executes that task for you and gives you an output in seconds, if not minutes. So the real key thing here is the prompting. So the better you are at prompting, the better the output you will get from those models. Where Wordsmith is different is we have our own interface where you can ask Wordsmith to perform a number of tasks. And the product is built on top of a number of language models. And we have a router built into the product, which essentially works out the right model for the task you're asking it to do. So each model has its strengths and weaknesses. Claude is good at some things and Gemini is good at other things. And Wordsmith is essentially finding the right model that is best for the task you're asking it to do. And then we have a layer of prompt engineering in there as well. So we have a team of legals who have vast experience working as in-house or at firms. And they've designed the product, to draft like a lawyer, to think like a lawyer, to read like a lawyer. So one of the key features that is very popular with Wordsmith is a prompt booster. So if you're not comfortable with prompting, you can stick in a prompt in your own language, just click one button and it will improve that prompt for you and then give you a better output. So when evaluating tools, it's key to look at the capabilities, limitations, the instructions you need to give that tool, and then the quality of output you're going to get. And this influences drafting, templates, playbooks, redlining, and operations.
Perfect. And we'll jump in here and we're going to show you some of this in action. This is our beginning course. Later in the day, we're going to build on some more complexities. So this is just a scenario that's sort of based on a real life pre-AI example. The CEO, let's just pretend our CEO of Wordsmith decided that they want to have AI for dogs. So what does that look like in drafting? Let's say we have a SaaS agreement, and now I've got to turn my SaaS agreement into a new SaaS agreement where we're serving AI for dogs. So I've attached our previous agreement template. I've uploaded it to Wordsmith and said, hey, can you please change this so that it works for AI for dogs? You can see the simple SaaS agreement here is the one that the template that we built off of. And so now I actually really want to lean into the AI for dogs thing. So I want to change all the provider terms in the agreement to AI for dogs. So I'm making a new template for this AI for dogs business. And I've used our power prompt. So power prompt here, we're going through it very quickly. We're going to give you the slide deck afterwards and slow down the videos. I use the power prompt to enhance my one word prompt. So then I get better results. We want you to know the basics of prompt engineering, but we don't need you to be an expert, and we're giving you the tools to do that. And so here you can see now it's gone through and actually redlined the original agreement, changing the provider to AI for dogs. And just like Microsoft Word, I can go through and I can accept these changes one by one, or I can accept them all. I can then download as a doc or a PDF. Now you can, this is just a simple example that you can use in any AI tool where you have your example agreement and then you want to make changes to it. You can then upload that agreement and then tell the AI what changes you want made. Additional examples using AI in drafting is analyzing before you draft, redrafting for jurisdiction or audience, drafting strategically, explaining and justifying changes, or drafting in loops. I'm now going to jump over to Playbook. So we're moving through the different pieces of contracting, showing you what our product looks like so you have a baseline of something to compare to. So these are our playbooks. The playbooks are the rules that tell our reviewing tool how to review agreements, whether those are third-party paper or whether that's your paper that comes back with Redlines. We can do both. So here we're going to go to the SaaS agreement. This is our SaaS agreement playbook. We have playbooks that come with our product, or you can build your own. Here you can see 41 different rules that are going to be run against whatever agreement you upload. And you have, what we're checking for, and then we have directions here for what the red lines should do. If it doesn't meet the criteria of the rule, then we want it to redline the agreement. We also can put in severity, we can put in fallback positions as well. So you have that main position, the red lines, additional instructions, and fallback. Now, if you don't have playbooks, so you can't upload a playbook agreement and create a playbook, don't worry about that. We have this feature where we can create a new playbook. You can either upload your playbook or you can upload a template agreement. So here we go. I'm just going to type in, we need a new AI for dogs playbook, right? And so I'm going to smart import this. Here's my AI for dogs SaaS agreement that we just created. And now I'm going to create a playbook for this. So then if, let's say, someone else for some reason wants to use the SaaS agreement, third-party paper, we can review that, or we can also review the red lines that come back to our template agreement. And so again, you can see here, it's extracted all of these rules by reading our agreement and producing them. And then you can go in here and change it. One of the things I love about Wordsmith is that it is fully customizable, because as an in-house lawyer, I know that no team, and sometimes even individuals on the team, don't work in the same manner. So that's a quick overview of playbooks. Now we take those playbooks and we're going to use them in reviewing agreements. So the first example here, this is what reviews look like. And so we're going to click on the vendor one, because I need some new people to help me with AI for dogs. And this is what it looks like. This is one that we've run before. It's applying all those rules. And then I can see the red line document over on the other side. When I click on a rule, it then takes me exactly to that section. The reason it's a little smushed is I want to try to make my screen as big as possible for recording. It does look better on your own screen. But you can go back and see the original agreement. Then you can flip over to the red line agreement that we've redlined. So I just uploaded that example agreement, and then Wordsmith has redlined the document using that playbook. I can then download it as a Word document, and now you can see here we are in Word. We can also use our Word plugin. So wherever you want to work, we want to enable you to work there. And so I've gone and I've run a review using a playbook on this agreement. Then I've downloaded it as a Word document with the red line. And now I'm going to interact with it in Word, because maybe I feel a little bit more comfortable there. And then so I said, can you review this agreement and ensure it complies with UK law? And then it's going to give me an analysis. Now, another example of a review that you can do is just simply uploading your agreement. So this is now, I have red lines that I've uploaded. So let's say we sent out our consulting agreement and it came back with red lines. Do I want to review the entire document? Do I want to review only the track changes? Or do I want to review the changes against a previous version? I'm just going to focus on reviewing the track changes here. And I'm going to pick our vendor agreement. So you can see there's lots of different playbooks I can select from. And then I'm going to go ahead and run that. And it's going to then generate a new set of red lines. that is run against our playbook. So maybe they change some things and we want to change them back. And then everything comes with an explanation as to why. So then you can check it. That's one of the great things. Everything that we do has citations. Again, you can download it as a Word document and then start working with it there. Very briefly, we also have templates. I know I'm watching the clock, seeing if we can get in. So here's a super quick example of our templates. We have all the inputs over here, and then the inputs correspond to the yellow. And so this is a really quick sped up video. I actually dictated all the answers to those 16 inputs in Wordsmith, and then it pulled it over and it's gone through, it's filled in all the yellow blanks for an NDA between Wordsmith and OpenAI. Another cool thing we can do with templates is you can actually email chains. So this is for an employment agreement. We want to hire someone that's going to help us with AI for dogs. And we have this negotiation chain of the details of his employment agreement. I'm going to forward that into assistant at wordsmith.ai. And then it is going to take the information from the email and the template that I've uploaded to the agreement or to the email, and then it's going to complete that for me. So this is something also you can do on other AI tools, right? You have a template and then you give it that information. But the benefit here is you don't have to summarize the email. It's actually just going through, reading your email, pulling everything out, emails you back. And then I click on it and I go into Wordsmith so I can actually see the review. And here we've redlined it. So you can see what information has been pulled from the email and what has been changed in your template agreement. You can then download that, accept all the changes, and send it off. Lastly, we're just going to look at some quick operational things. I'm going to show you one. This is one of my favorite aspects of AI. We have workspaces, which is sort of like custom GPTs or Claude projects on steroids. And so this is how can you fill in information security documents very quickly. You can use this in all sorts of different contracting. We're just using this because it's a simple example. So you have sources of information that you connect to it and instructions. And those are always going to be persistent and maintain that context in this chat. So it's always going to reference that knowledge and the specific instructions I've given it. And I said, please complete this questionnaire. So this is the questionnaire that you can see on the other side that we've received about our InfoSec. And it's going to go through all our past InfoSec questionnaires, pull out that information, and then input it back into that document, leaving it in the same format that it was, just adding a new column for the information that we have. And we've also put the custom instructions that if you don't know, don't answer. So we don't want you to hallucinate. So here you can see it's added this extra column with all the answers from our previously answered InfoSec questionnaires. So this workspaces are extremely powerful and you can use them for a whole variety of different things. And I know I've got just the time, but I don't know, Stefon, would you like to jump in really quick and go over just the last pieces?
I will be very, very quick. So it's like, be quick. So
good. Carry on, guys.
I mentioned at the top of the call, the Wordsmith Academy. This is a great space to learn some of those use cases Laura touched on in the videos. And we also do sessions just generally on how you can use legal AI more effectively. So I'll give you guys a few seconds just to whip your phones out and scan that link. That's for the Wordsmith Academy. It's free as well, by the way. Great content, great community. If you would like a demo of Wordsmith AI and a conversation around how we can help your legal team, then here is another link you can scan. So yeah, we'd love to give you a demo, and we're very keen on getting people set up for trials as well. Seeing is believing.
Love the QR codes, guys. Ease of everything. Whilst they're wrapping up, a few of you I can see are chatting. I think this is such an important one. So we've got a few minutes, but anyone have any questions for Stefon? Feel free to pop them in the chat. Sorry, I'm putting you on the spot here, but I'm sure you're well prepared.
We do have one question. I don't know if you can see it in the chat. Can you see that, Laura? Does Wordsmith and similar vendors still depend on third-party LLMs?
Yes, and yes, most legal specific tools do rely on third-party large language models. You know, we use a whole variety of them, and we have enterprise agreements with them. It really wouldn't make sense logically for us to try to create our own language model. We would never be able to keep up with billion-dollar tech companies. So we leverage their power, but everything is encrypted. So in transmission, it's encrypted. They process it, and when it's at rest, it's encrypted and it comes back. So the information is saved within your Wordsmith account, and we're SOC 2 certified. You have full control on what you want to keep in your Wordsmith account, a history of your chats. And that has sort of just this similar risk to having cloud, right, in your email. Same cybersecurity risks as that.
I'd like to add something here, actually. I was actually at dinner last night here in the Middle East. So I actually went to in Dubai, I should say. I went to a privacy and AI dinner that Meta put on, and this came up. And even big companies like Cisco, you know, other companies, they use, you know, a lot of people have said to me, you know, they're not going to go to the trouble of trying to build an LLM. It's too expensive. Other people are doing it. So I think, you know, large corporations that, you know, that offer, you know, privacy tools even, you know, they're very much kind of, you know, you probably remember them from the old school, you know, before Zoom was a thing. When I first started 20 years ago, it was WebEx meetings. But, you know, companies like that use LLMs, you know, various ones, whether it be Claude, Gemini. And I think that just goes to show that, you know, it's an industry standard. It's all about making sure it's secure, like Laura mentioned. So I think it's always a very valid concern. Governance is a massive thing, and you know, AI makes it even more. But you know, every company out there is making use of LLMs, just in case that helps.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Laura and Stefon. Laura, I'm so excited for your session later. This one was super engaging. I absolutely loved it. Love the AI for dogs. Amazing. Very excited to see you later on, and it'll be more in depth for everybody who's here. This will be a deeper dive into contracts, reviewing, negotiation. I think it's going to be absolutely vital for everybody, every type of lawyer, because you need to have some idea of contracts at least, I think. Thanks so much, guys.